We're in. So this is a really exciting moment because
sorry.
we're in. I've started. This is a really exciting moment because basically on the guest for today is Tim.
I can't believe it.
Who is one of my besties, but also he's an osteopath.
Which nobody knows what that is either, so I'm going to have to probably explain what that is.
Well, he's basically a doctor. And the thing is that's so mad is that I'm friends with an osteopath, which makes me cool.
I've been treating you for a long time.
Yeah, but also makes me cool because I like hang around with like intelligent people.
It's also the least exciting profession ever.
Yeah, but
I really like it because I'm a bit of a nerd, but it's not a cool job.
One, it is. Two, it's so much better than saying like, oh yeah, this is my mate. They work in admin,
finance,
marketing, finance.
Yeah.
I get to be like, he's an osteopath.
Yeah, I don't meet many osteopaths on the night out.
I love saying it. So, welcome to.
Thank you.
Welcome to the monthly wrap-up
show.
That was insane.
Yeah.
That's what
I thought you meant to harmonise on the top. But
let's try again.
Nice.
Welcome to the monthly wrap-up show.
That was really good.
I can't wait to watch that back. We are going to go through once again what I've been up to this month. It's G'ing up now. Yeah. I mean, when I first did my monthly wrap-up, there weren't much to say. I was just like...
What have you done this month?
So, monthly, what have I been up to this month? I'm actually going to get my calendar up. Are you like that? Do you ever have to look backwards?
I don't remember a single thing I have to.
Cannot?
Yeah.
Can remember something from when I was like 3 years old, but then can't remember
like
last
lyrics
week.
To a song that I listened to in 2009.
Yeah, it's mental. So, I'm going to start from the beginning of the month. I have been training for High Rocks.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so I've been basically what I wanted to do, which all of you guys know if you've been watching and following. If you're new here, you know how I feel.
I've not been watching.
He's not watching. This is the thing. My friends have not been watching my YouTube channel. My mum hasn't.
No.
My mum, you know mum.
Yeah.
I said to my mum the other day, and we'll get onto this, I did an ultra. I did a 58k ultra, and we'll get onto this in a sec. And mum was like, oh, how did your run go? I said, yeah, my 58k run, mum.
Your jog.
Yeah. How did your run go? I said, yeah, it went well. Like, it was a good test, though. You know, it's a little bit shy of what my longest day would be on the run. She goes, yeah, but you're only doing 5k, aren't you? I said, what do you mean, mum? She went, you're only doing 5k in each city. I said, no, mum, I'm running.
Well, can we unpack this in a minute?
Yeah.
Because I don't think I had any clue what you were doing until last night when you sent me your itinerary. No joke. So I think it's worth this actually because I think people who are tuning in to see me, because I've got a really big following, will enjoy you explaining again what actually you're doing. Because I'm
happy to do this because I do it every single time.
I know what's
because
going on there.
There's two things wrong with this. One is it's probably just hard to explain because it's like so much chunk of it. But two, people are fucking scrollers, so they'll just go like.
Well, I know you, so you're always doing something amazing, and I'm like, oh.
So you just liked and then moved on, which is so fun. Okay, so basically, there's two things going on here. This is how I find a new way to describe it each month. This is how I'm going to describe it this month. One part of it, as a challenge, I am running 5,000 kilometres over 99 days. So I'm going to start in Scotland and I'm going to follow a 5,000 kilometre route. Now, on that route, when I arrive in each city, there's 76 cities in the UK. I will stop in the city, host a 5k run club to get people moving.
And does that contribute to your 5,000 kilometres?
Yep, so you'll add on 5.
Oh, so that's part of it.
So part of it is 5,000 total. I will host a 5.
No, I'm joking. I'm like, oh, maybe in addition would be quite cool, but that's fine.
No, okay, it's like me saying I'm running 4,500 kilometres plus 76 5Ks.
Well, I asked you for the itinerary because I wanted some points to talk about today, and I didn't realise it was 99 days back to back. No, I actually didn't. No,
it's fine. I'm feeling this.
But I was looking at your schedule and I was like, this is actually bonkers. It's like, I don't think have you noticed at the end of your schedule was the hardest? The last 2 weeks, like days 89 to 96 I was looking at. That's like 1 week you're literally doing like 400 kilometres.
Oh, am I?
Yeah. I was like, does she know that she's organised this to be the worst
I
part?
haven't put it all together. Chris Taylor has, and he knows what he's doing, and he knows probably by that point I'm capable of that.
From an osteopathic view, which we will get into, I just your body's going to be in absolute tatters.
We'll get
but
back
we're going to
that.
talk about that today.
We are going to talk about that today. So I'm running to every single city in the UK. I'm hosting a 5K club to get there. But there's two things going on here. Because one thing is the challenge, right?
Yeah.
If I was doing the challenge, I said this to you earlier, I'd hop in a camper van now and go start tomorrow.
Yeah.
Because it's all about me. It's self-indulged. It's absorbed. It's me running. Look at me. I'm running 5,000 kilometres. Aren't I amazing? Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
There's a second layer to this. Like, I am hosting 76 run clubs across the UK on a mission to get 1 million people to complete a 5K walking or running with me by the end of that 99 day. I am not doing this to go, look at me. Aren't I so cool? Aren't I so amazing? I can run 5,000 kilometres. Like, I get it. Like, it's impressive that people want to go out and do that. I'm trying to do something bigger here. So the reason I'm running to every city is because I want to show like the grit and determination that I'm running to your front door. I will come to your front door. All I need is 5K.
And you to show up.
I just need people to show up 5K.
Yeah.
So with that, this month, what I was doing is I wanted to spend the rest of this year on my training program. When I first announced it a couple of months ago, doing a lot of high intensity work.
You started for this?
Yes.
That was going to be one of my questions.
Yes.
Yeah.
So a lot of high intensity work, and I was like, okay, I know the best way to do this. I'm going to do a high rocks in December because my training plan is exactly what I wanted. I wanted to do like engine training. I wanted high impact, high intensity.
So you're going for speed a lot?
Yeah, I wanted to do some speed stuff. I wanted to feel uncomfortable. I wanted to do functional work. I wanted to just feel a bit like, in my body. Then go into the new year and I'll go massively into my strength, which I do anyway, but go more into my strength, and my loading and my mileage will increase. Yeah. So with that, this month has been a full month training for high rocks, and
Whereabouts are you doing that?
I've just been at the gym. I've got training.
Where's the high rocks?
London.
Oh, it's in London.
Yeah, on the first weekend of December. So I've spent this month training for high rocks, and I've been really consistent. I'm really proud. I've been going into the gym. It's been uncomfortable. I find the skier just so hard. Yeah. But unfortunately, within this training block for high rocks, I did have a 58k ultra booked in the Wirral.
In the where?
The Wirral.
The Wirral.
On the Wirral. You don't say in the Wirral, you say on the Wirral.
On the Wirral.
On the Wirral.
Yeah, okay.
Right? Near Liverpool.
Yeah.
And I always booked that in because I was like, I'm going to use that as my base. So like, you know how like someone would go, I'm going to go and run a 5K and then I'm going to do a training plan to do a better 5K. I went and ran an ultra marathon because I wanted to do a body check.
You've done that?
Which what we're going to talk about. Which is why I lined you up. I didn't really put it on gram.
Did you not?
I'm just not very good at
You're not very good.
It was putting it up on the Instagram, whatever, but it was more because I needed to just do it, and I made a mental note of like where was I feeling things, which we're going to talk about today, and that's why this was perfectly lined up. My ultra marathon was a body check to see where I'm at, and then I wanted to chat to you about it, and that's why this has worked out perfectly. So I did that in the middle of my training plan for high rocks, which was last weekend. Not the one we just had the one for. Wow. So I did that on the 15th of November, yeah. So since then, I've been back on my high rocks plan, and now I've got 2 weeks till high rocks. So there's my monthly wrap up. It's just been a month of high rocks training, and then it's basically been a body check for an ultra, and then finally I've been having meetings with brands and partners and sponsors who I need for the commercial side of this project, which is the 76 run clubs.
I actually just didn't realise how big it was.
It's huge.
It's massive.
It's massive. How do you feel now? Oopsie. But the thing is...
No, it is. But also the infrastructure that you're having to create with just the organisation level of everything as well. I mean, hats off to you. I'm really sorry that I didn't take it more seriously.
No, it's fine.
Until last night.
My mum was the same. Like, my mum basically... So, going back to my mum, I came off the call. No, I was on the call. I said, yeah, like, it would be one of my longest days. You're only doing 5K a day, aren't you? I said, no, mum.
But I thought that too.
I said, no, mum, I'm running to every city. This is the conversation. It's brilliant. Are you? I said, yeah, I'm running to every city in between the 5Ks. I'm not getting in the car.
No, you're not.
I'm running the route. Yeah. And she said, oh, yeah, I didn't know that.
No, I didn't either.
And then I said, yeah. And she said, oh, good.
That's it. That was it.
And I went, okay,
speak to you later.
Because I think people don't still, even my mum, who will be my biggest cheerleader, she'll be in Inverness when I set off. She's the best cheerleader, my mum. Your brain can't get it.
No.
I say the word 60k a day and you just go, oh, cool.
Well, some days, sorry, itchy nose.
You need to lean into the mic, I reckon.
Some days you're doing...
yeah, pull in under.
Some days you're doing longer.
I'm just looking at your thing on here.
Some days you're doing longer, doing 70k.
Yeah.
Which we'll talk about, but I think... I was interested today to figure out what training you're doing for it, because I think anybody listening who might want to know maybe how to start doing longer distances can take a bit of like inspiration from that. But the 99 days back to back, I'm just like, from like a medical background, sort of been sat thinking, how does anybody bounce back from that? This is what I mean. No, I'm serious.
I need you to be serious.
Like, bounce back from the consistent day, like one after the other, in terms of the mileage you're doing. It almost seems a bit impossible. It does a little bit. But if anyone can do it, it's you. But I think physically we can go into that. I feel like you're going to feel awful.
The thing is, I think this is really important though, because I think it's so easy, especially with so many people, the challenge culture that we have on the moment, the kind of influencer challenge culture. I'm running around the world, like, you know, all of this, like I'm going to do it on my, like a handstand going backwards. And we're like, why? What are you doing to yourself? I do understand that. And I think we've made it so normal, like we've normalised, like, oh, she's going to run for 99 days straight.
There's no, the shock factor for anybody now is really hard to shock people.
Yeah, and I'm not even trying to shock them. No, I'm just trying to get the nation moving.
Yeah, and that is the point of all of
this. But I think this is important, having you here and you saying things like, this is nearly impossible. I think people need to, you know, really understand from a professional point of view, like, it's not just like some stupid girl on Instagram going, I'm going to run to every city in the UK. It's like, no, this is huge, like the impact it's going to have, which we're going to go into.
Yeah.
But do you know what? I think we start from the bottom and move up, because this is so, I mean, we've just spoke about how my mum couldn't quite grasp it and how you were like, bloody hell, I've only just realised it. And, you know, it took you to actually look at my itinerary that I sent you to go, oh my God.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I actually couldn't think of anything worse.
Yeah. So we're going to go backwards to just, you know, your everyday runner. So first of all, let's start with just everyday runners. So if you're a runner, like listening to this, watching this, you know, what questions you might have and get perspective, so then we can build into what I'm doing. So for you as an osteopath, actually, let's just introduce you properly. Okay. So Tim, you're an osteopath. So tell us about like your journey into it. Have you always wanted to be an osteopath? Like, where did it all begin?
Say to somebody like, what's an osteopath? I'm still sort of, I spend a lot of my time trying to like justify what it is as well. It comes under the realm of physiotherapy, chiropractic care, osteopathy, sort of in the middle. The whole pretense of the three professions is the same. It's manual therapy treatment, so touch therapy to improve musculoskeletal function, primarily to reduce pain. That's why a lot of my patients come to see me, because they're in pain. And that can be multifocal. That could be neck pain, knee, lower back, and that goes from different spectrums, from an acute strain, just from a run, for example, or like chronic long-term lumbar degeneration issues. Like, it depends. So lumbar meaning lower back. So the treatments are all quite similar across the three professions. Osteopathy is really hands-on. I take a lot of inspiration from physio treatment in terms of rehab and strength, and I think getting people to move is really vital. And
can I just quickly interrupt there, because I know this is a common question when people say, what's the difference between a physio and an osteopath? You get that a lot, don't you?
I get that all the time.
Yeah.
I think for me, there's not a big deal, not a big difference.
Yeah.
Because I take a lot of a physio inspiration, and I think getting to people to move and lift, and some things just cannot be solved with manual therapy alone.
Yeah.
And most physios might agree with that. But then if you have broad, like opposite ends of the spectrum with the two professions, you might get really hands-on osteo who doesn't do a lot of rehab, and then a physio who's super rehab focused with no hands-on. Honestly, then people are like, well, who do I go to? So I get
you
that.
Are very much, as an osteopath though, not you personally, but an osteopath, you are very much hands-on.
Yeah.
You are manoeuvring people, figuring things out, listening to the body.
It's about diagnosis. It's about giving people that title if there is one to be given. So full examination, orthopedic testing, diagnostic screening, then we know how to treat it, then we know how to manage it. And, you know, I'm a big believer in, you know, we take each appointment at the one at a time. I can't predict how many people need. I also think it's unethical to be like, you're going to need 30, because I'm a big believer in saving money, cost effectiveness, figuring out how we can get people better while saving cash. So I think knowledge is power. So I give a lot of information to my patients after that first appointment, just everything we did, why we did it, what we found, what it means, just because I think we're missing that line of communication in healthcare. I think it's really important. I think a lot of it stems from that in terms of good patient outcomes. And so, I mean, realistically, if any, like, just to really simplify what I've said, if you've got a sore knee or a sore foot or something, you could kind of see one of the three professions I've mentioned, so osteopathy, physio, chiro. And I guess it just becomes then maybe a patient practitioner chemistry discussion then.
Yeah,
they're
what
all
you
really
get out
similar.
of it.
You might have somebody who loves going to chiro and thinks osteopathy is a load of rubbish and vice
versa. Oh, really? What? Ooh. Ooh, so is it a bit like the Montagues and the Capulets?
Yeah,
Let's
Cornwall versus Devon.
Meet me at midnight for a rumble at midnight.
Yeah. No, I mean, personally, no. I think intercollaborative care is really key.
100%.
But some people, might be like, oh, yeah, don't go to osteos. They're a bunch of quacks or something.
Ooh, comment below what team you're on, physio or osteo. So with running then, for you, what is the most common running injury you see? And actually, I want to say, what is the most common mistake? So let's start with the most common injury, but can you talk about the mistakes you see?
Common injury has got to be knees and feet. So specifically patellofemoral syndrome, also known as runner's knee.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like linked with something called IT band syndrome. And then probably Achilles tendonitis as well. And I think the biggest issue that people face when they're starting to run, they think it's bad shoes, it's bad form, it's this and that. 9 times out of 10, it's actually just they've increased their load too quickly. They've gone too far too soon. And then it puts people off and they think, oh, I can't run. And I'm like, actually, you just need to go a little bit slower. And we're all sort of like privy to that. We might just think, oh, I had a really great run, it's increased the distance. I mean, ironically, I've got an Achilles tendonitis because I've just been running and not listening. Like, I'm the worst patient. So we all do it.
You always hear that thing.
But a lot of the sort of working backwards in terms of these running injuries is just going back to basics at the start. So slowing cadence down, not trying to go too fast, seeing it more as like a jog rather than a run, taking ego out of it a bit, doing a couple in the week or maybe just one a week and slowly getting back into it. But patellofemoral pain, I won't bore you for too long, but it's basically changes in relationship between your kneecap and your femur. A lot of the time, the outer quadriceps over-dominate the inner thigh quadriceps. So there's 4 quads. The 3 sort of middle and outer and the top layer pull the patella out to the outer side of the knee, and it's only your VMO, your inner quad muscle, that helps draw it into the midline. And so when we run and walk, we put on tone and tightness really easily on our outer thigh, and so the kneecap, rather than gliding nicely in its groove up and down, will veer out to the side. And that rubbing is the pain. So then if you think about working backwards, if you keep that outer quadriceps nice and supple, then really fire up your inner thigh, your VMO in particular, the kneecap starts to behave nicely.
And you want the kneecap to stay in line.
It just needs to track up and down in its groove rather than off out to the side and rubbing abnormally.
Which makes so much sense because I think so many people who can relate to this will go, I felt that pain on the side of my knee.
And it's normally the outside knee. And then we're looking at foot versus patella alignment. So... And also your foot placement. Are people like heel striking, midfoot, tiptoeing? You know, what does that mean for weight displacement? Are they going outer border, inner border, big toe? Or are they just running on the outer 2/3, which is really common, which then puts a rotational stress through the knee, and then the outside patella becomes stressed. So foot placement is really key. It takes you to go to an appointment for somebody just to find these little nuances.
Find out where you're running.
And then tell you the difference. And then again, Achilles tendonitis, I feel like, doesn't discriminate against anybody. It can be anybody, and a lot of the time it can be poor shoes if they're rubbing, which seems really easy to say, but a lot of the time it's you've just done too much in such a short space of time. And
see, that's music to my ears though, you saying stuff like this, because that is what I'm trying to say every single day to people who say, I hate running. I hate running, I hate it. I've said, you don't hate it, you just hate how you're doing it. You're doing it too quick or you're doing it too far, and then
I also
you feel
think
shit.
You freak yourself out in that first kind of kilometre because people start really fast, they're looking around at all these other runners, they're trying to match, and I'm like, I say to all my patients, just go at a granny pace initially.
Just enjoy it.
Take the ego out, and once you've got that conversational pace, whereas if you and I were there, we could all still have a conversation without being out of breath. Next thing you know, you've done your first 5K and you're not even out of breath. If you're out of breath, great. That's how you're going to build sort of like VO2 max and those sorts of things. But if you're just trying to get distance, just don't get out of breath.
Murray?
Just go, Do
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But this is the thing, like, it is a vicious circle as well, because the minute you feel kind of any pain with running, like, how many people, you must hear it all the time, because I hear it all the time. I can't run. I can't run because I've got bad knees.
You can run.
And isn't that a thing? I've got bad knees.
Yeah.
I've got bad knees, so I can't run.
Yeah, people don't have as bad knees as
they just call it bad knees because they felt the pain from going to, like when you, like you just said, track back, you've gone out too quick, you've increased your mileage, you felt the pain, now you've got bad knees, now you can't run.
And I get a sore knee because I broke it years ago, so it doesn't really like running.
How'd you break your knee?
Oh, it's a long story.
Okay.
Yeah.
I feel like, do I remember this?
Yeah. And then, but then when I correct my foot placement and I don't get lazy, and these are things that are going to happen when you're on these long distances, like your balance will be off.
From being tired.
You're fatigued, everything. So then you're at higher risk risk of injury. Anybody is if they're more tired. So then you have to check in. You know, I fix my foot, and then my weight placement, and then my knee improves. And so I know that, so I can keep running through that. But your average person will feel pain and be like, oh, I need to stop, it hurts.
Whereas you could feel a pain, change something, and go, oh, it's eased.
Just because I have a knowledge about it.
I know, yeah, it makes sense.
So and it's hard to say to people, oh, because I'm not saying push through pain. This is the difference. This is acknowledging, changing, knowing what to change in terms of foot placement things, and then trialing it, and then keep going. Yeah.
So common things for your everyday runner are you sort of like knees and Achilles and stuff like that.
Knees, Achilles,
and common mistakes are.
And actually, we won't go into it, but lower back pain as well. Actually, you get a lot of runners who get
weak glutes.
Lower back. I feel like weak glutes is a bit of a
myth. As in, no, sorry, I mean, is the lower back pain from your glutes not helping?
Do you know what it is? People come to me all the time saying, I've been told I've got weak glutes. Well, you don't. Like, weakness is two things. Either lack of neurological input, so like the nerve isn't firing.
Yeah.
So, like you do Trendelenburg tests, these things that actually just assess whether the glute can activate. Or it's chronic muscular tightness. So then all these people are prescribed like glute bridges, clams,
lazy
stuff like
glute,
that
word.
I'm like, you actually just need to let it relax a bit, let it come back to neutral. Then when you go to activate it, it goes from neutral to contracted, and the power comes back. It's just a case of actually, a lot of people who come in with weak glutes, which I've never diagnosed in clinic, but have been told, have just got their bum's just too tight. It's got tight bum.
So it's just in a state of like tension, and it actually just needs the rest.
It just needs to relax a bit, and then the power.
And is it because they're going into the movement, whether it's running or whatever it is, with tightness there, and then obviously
imagine
it hurts.
If I walked around with a fist, I can't make that any fistier. Can I? But eventually that's going to fatigue. Whereas if I go from here to there, the power's there, you know. So
and how do you do that though with your bum?
Well, realistically, like stretching, rest, massage guns. There might be a bit of like, you know, debate around whether they work or not.
Got you.
But just anything that's going to just switch the muscle off a little bit, let it calm, let it have a breather, and then your power will come back with it. Unless obviously you've got an actual neurological issue where the nerve's not firing.
Fairs. And then, I mean, that's like your everyday runner.
But
things
what about you?
Well, things that people like, you know, can relate to and go, yeah, I felt that knee pain. I felt that. Because I can relate to everything you just said over my years of running. I'm like, oh, I felt that before.
And there is a bit more, but we're like, you get it.
But like, I know, for example, at the moment, like I've got like tightness up here. It's pulled on my IT band. I'm getting the flick, you know, the flick over there. But I know that, like you said. And I would go, my knee. I'm like, no, I've just increased my mileage, like that massive thing I just did. I've tightened my IT band and now it's flicking over the knee and I need to rest it and massage it and whatever.
Or call me.
Or call Tim. But what I mean is I have got years and years and years of experience in running that I will feel that and go, okay, don't panic. But I obviously did panic a little bit.
I think for you, it's your question about what this is going to mean for your body.
Yeah, and I think this might scare me, but like I do need to not be scared, but I need the real hard truth here.
I mean, physically, this is huge. And this is why I'm like really on board with what you're doing now after just doing a bit of research and looking at your schedule. But the effects on your body will be massive. Fundamentally, like, and we already know this, but there's no real rest period with this. You're doing huge distances every single day. There's no time for collagen turnover to settle. You know, muscles typically need like 24 to 72 hours just to like calm down. If we think about DOMs, which you're not going to have at all, you're never going to allow that to happen. And just the effect on like your tendons, the muscles, the joints. So when we run, the force that the floor strikes back on our feet is typically 2 to 2.5 times your body weight, because running is essentially a series of jumps. Like your feet don't ever touch there's a period where both your feet are off the ground. You never run and one foot's on the ground the whole time. That would just be stepping.
Yes.
Yeah. So then when the foot in front hits the ground, the force that the floor sends back up the body is like 2.5 times your body weight. So you're going to be doing that 70,000 times a day for 99 days in a row. So then if we think about micro trauma in bones, so your risk of fracture in your femur, tibia and pelvis is really, really high.
Which is thighs, shins, pelvis.
So basically lower body. And you're not going to you don't get a couple of days just to let it mellow out. It's on to the next. And so that's your MSK. That's your muscles, your tendons, your joints and everything. And then if we think...
getting a beating is what you're saying. They're just getting beaten.
To really simplify like quite an in-depth physiological process. Then hormonally, you know, you're going to have increased cortisol levels, so huge stress response, decreased estrogen across this period, decreased T3, thyroid hormone, which help like metabolizes, and decrease growth hormone at nighttime as well, because of how insane this is on the body. So hormonally, there's going to be a huge shake-up too, which then would normally be sort of counterbalanced with good sleep. So I don't know when you're going to sleep through this, but that, if we're thinking about the best way to kind of keep you from not completely falling apart, will be like sleep and nutrition, which we can talk about in a minute. And there's also been a lot of studies in cardiovascular effects in ultramarathon runners. And so the right ventricle of the heart gets basically a huge battering compared to so there's four chambers.
The minute you say the word heart, I just go.
Essentially, it kind of gets over enlarged a bit, and there's a huge strain on it, and it normally takes like a couple days after an ultramarathon for it to kind of settle. So there's not been any studies to prove that there's long-term heart effects, but the right ventricle takes a huge amount of stress during these long distances as well. So you've got the MSK factor, the hormonal, the cardiovascular, sort of the endocrine as well. So, I mean, I was looking at your schedule and I thought, she's going to feel like shit. You are. Yeah. So it's about... If we're thinking, well, how do we get around this? It's not straightforward, because you're not giving that period between days where you're running.
If I chat you through a day-to-day, you can maybe advise what you think would be best in terms of recovery.
So if that scared you, but there's a lot going on.
It's not that I need to be scared. It's that I almost need people to get on board with me to really understand. Like,
well, I do now. I'm like, this is a serious challenge.
So, so say I wake up and I run.
When are you sleeping?
This is, for example, say I'm up at 5 a.m.
Yeah.
So I get up and I run 60k. And then say I arrive in the next city in the afternoon. I won't be hosted. The run clubs every night will say be at 7 p.m. It's in the summer, so it'll be light still. 7 p.m. every night is the 5k. Say I arrived at 2 p.m. for example, because I can't tell you my timeline. Yeah. I don't know what's going to happen. I'm going to be having my period when I'm doing this. I might get in. I cannot even tell you my time. However, I'd arrive in the afternoon, though I would eat. I'm obviously eating throughout the day as well. I'll be eating and hydrating throughout the day. I'm not racing,
like 7,000 calories or something.
But I'm not racing, right? So I'm not like gel, water. Like I can pull over, have some food, carry on running.
Yeah.
Say I get there in the afternoon, I will eat. I could nap, 4 hours and then go to run club, host it, do it, go back to bed.
Yeah.
So
I think that you're going to have to just sleep at whatever.
When I can.
Yeah.
And then I'll get up in the morning, go the next day, start my trip to the next city. So
I'm just imagining the DOMs you're going to have.
Yeah, but this is the thing. So if I wasn't doing this I'm doing this challenge to get people moving. My motivation is I want 1 million people to complete a 5K. I think it could change their life. Like there's going to be people out there that join me for this 5K and their life is going to change. And I mean drastically. And that's not being deep. That is the pure truth of it. There will be even one person out there that 5K does something that changes their life, right? That is my motivation to do this. If I wasn't doing this for other people, I could get this done quicker than 99 days probably, because I just keep going. Sleep when I can, eat when I can, and just go, bang it out. So there might be people out there going 5,000 kilometres, like someone else could do that in this many days. I'm not doing it for me.
No.
I'm not doing it for the challenge and the quickness and how I can do it. I'm doing it for the other people. So as a consequence of that, it has freed me up time to take a moment, relax and whatever. But I need to relax and rest and eat so I can host a run club. Yeah. I'm working as well. I'm hosting 76 run clubs.
Maybe you have to walk the 5Ks.
But, whatever happens will happen. But
there's a thing that's to interrupt you is I think people forget that you can walk at any point. Yeah. You can stop.
If I need to stop, guys, I'm just going to stop for 10 minutes, have some food,
but people
and
forget
carry on.
that they can't, I have questions. I talk to my mother-in-law about this a lot and other family members, you can stop on a run.
I know.
And people forget.
And I can't wait to be the example of that, Tim.
It doesn't have to be this continuous thing. It's like you are allowed to. There's no rules. And then when you tell some people, they're like, oh, do you stop when you run? I'm like, well, yeah, I need to tie my shoes, or I need to stretch my bum out, or I don't know. It
does not make you
fine.
any less of a person or a runner because you stop.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to make an example of that. Yeah. When people say, I can't come to your 5K, so I can't run. I don't give a shit. Even if you run, walk that 5K, I'm going to be with you the whole way. Yeah. I'm not going to go out the front and sprint off. No. I'm going to be with every person that turns up.
Which a lot of running clubs do. Some of the speeds I see, and I'm like, God, I mean, I like to run, but I don't want to put myself through.
Yeah, also do it on your own if you want to go and sprint. When you're hanging hanging out with people, chat to them. Do you know what I mean? So in those kind of like windows, like, what would you recommend in terms of my
your
body?
recovery?
Yeah.
So
obviously I know food and sleep and stuff, but in terms of like my body, like I run in, do I just lay and don't move? Like surely I'm going to need to maneuver.
I think we're going to have to look at contrast bathing, so like heat and obviously ice. I mean, again, there's like a big debate around which one to use, but if we're thinking ice, that would be more for like joints, if there's swelling, redness, things to kind of create an anti-inflammatory response. And then muscles love heat. You know, that's what makes the blood to it. Blood provides the immune system. So if we're thinking about increasing a healing process, if that is even possible, the jury's out. But blood to the area would be really good. And so it depends if, you know, I don't know if you're traveling with a team or something, but that you could obviously do that by yourself. It's a tough one to say stretching, isn't it?
Like, should I keep moving?
Typically, I just wouldn't stop immediately. Kind of got to like...
But I've got to go do the run club.
Rather than jump off the cliff, roll down the hill. You know, we've spoken about this before. Just kind of like come to like a steadier stop. But otherwise, I just think there's going to be a real shock panic factor physically that the body's going to be like this because it's so unnatural. So just to stop and sit down and be like, oh God, that was a long amount of miles. It's like, no, actually, we need to be kind of a bit quite loving to how your body feels.
Will my body get used to it at some point?
It's hard
or
to
will
say.
I be in shock for 99 days?
Looking at your schedule, the 10 to 14 day window is your highest fracture risk window.
Yeah.
So
the first part.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, can we do this? If you was to go through it from 0 to 99, not every day, in section, what are my risks?
So the biggest risk is the starting 10 to 14 days, biggest risk window for fracture.
Yeah.
Because realistically, it's the load is going to increase quite considerably, and so the beginning section is probably where like the walls will crumble. You know, if it's not going to work. Okay. We're thinking like the navicular bone in particular in your arch, where the height of the arch is, just because it's part of like a suspension bridge when you're pushing off your toe, and so that repetitive movement again is not common. It's not a normal thing to happen. And thinking like lower tibial and sort of like in the femur, it's not. I'm not saying it's going to happen.
No. You're saying possibilities. These are risks. So what are my risks?
These are risks. So early fracture in the lower leg.
Yeah.
In those areas that I just mentioned. Obviously, overload-induced tendonitis, so Achilles in particular, and then around the patella, whether that's quadriceps tendon or the patella tendon ligament. It's kind of got two names. And then realistically knowing your history, you know, with them being paralysed, and I've done ultramarathon treatment on you a lot before, and you get a numbness in your leg that's still sort of residual from your previous paralytic trauma, which you haven't felt in a while, but I do worry about that coming back.
Yeah, I mean, it's been nearly 2 years. Yeah. No, it was 2 years in September since I had my last episode, which lasted 6 weeks. So anyone that didn't know, my leg will go limp for like a period of time. It went for 6 weeks. Then it comes back. We can't figure it out. No. Like, I've got a neurologist actually this Thursday, my yearly checkup with a neurologist where they just do the full checks over again, see if I'm losing.
You can run through it though. I've seen you do it, but it's not advised.
It's like a floppy leg.
Yeah, like the reflexes are gone.
That's one of the things I am worried about on this challenge. Like if it goes, that is going to add just more mental strain to the whole thing because I'm carrying a limp leg along. So fracture, tendons, then possibility
but
of
then also
paralysed leg.
Just obviously when we run, blood goes to our legs and our and our arms and things away from the stomach. So then like nausea, cramping, especially if you're on your menstrual cycle, not having enough fuel in you because obviously the tummy's not thinking, oh, I need to process food right now. It's like, no, like we're running, like the body needs to be thinking. It's like fight or flight mode. So then lack of nutrients and then just essentially just a fatigue. But the effect this has on your immune system will be huge. So after every kind of large output, the immune system sort of gets lowered for about a day to 3 days, particularly for like long distances. So you're never going to have a period where your immune system can recover. So being immunosuppressed across 99 days is also kind of a worry because at any point, so your risk of cold and flu will go up
like
massively.
Someone comes near me.
Well, you're meeting all these people, you're going to different cities, COVID's around, like you hug everyone, you're tactile, and you're not going to have much of an immune system. So what you don't want is to then get sick. So then actually you can't do the day.
Because I'll catch it quicker, basically.
Yeah. So then you might be looking at, because I know what you're like, you're mentally strong, but I'm going to still do the run, but you might be really unwell.
Yeah.
And then like realistically, should you be doing that mileage when actually you're really poorly?
Yeah,
so,
like if I had a cold, I'm not going to run a marathon.
I mean, we're not really selling this, but yeah. Because
these are the risks.
These are the risks, yes.
Yeah. But do you know what? It's important for me to know them, and it's important for me to know them now. I've got 7 months. Like, there are so many things that I can start doing. Like, I have been really focusing on my diet and my nutrition, and even my
drips as well.
But even like my skin health. Like, I know it sounds crazy, but I've been cleansing, toning, like, do it because I'm like, I don't want any part of my body to be stealing energy. Like, if my skin's not doing well, it's going to be taking energy. I'm like, don't need my skin to. I need my legs working. Do you know what I mean? So, well, it's been really interesting, insightful, but also quite scary. But I'm so glad, and
You're
actually,
happy to know it though.
I am so happy to know it.
Knowledge is power. You've got time
100%.
to kind of like, you know, get your immune system up. I think also you've got to really think about your diet and like no booze and stuff now.
I know, and I think from Jan,
Christmas time, so
100%. I am cutting down. I want to cut down on the drinking. Like, you know, it's just not worth it anymore for something like this, because if I drink at the weekend and then I go and train on Monday, I just feel like shit. And it's like, why am I starting a run or a training program or whatever feeling like shit when I'm already going to feel like shit? So yeah, that's going to be going to be massive. Like, cutting down on the old drinks. I do, you know, I'll have a pint once a week. But that's just pointless.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? I love a drink. I love partying. But is it really worth it when you want to go and make this challenge the best it could be? No. So yeah, I'm on it. Like,
and
I am.
Come see me for appointments at any point as well.
I know. Thank you. So we're going to round this up because we've come to the end with yeah, I know, I just looked at the time. You've done really well. I first of all thank you, because like, you are just so clever, and he's so clever, isn't he? I just love it. Even though I'm petrified. No, I'm joking. I want to ask, so if you were crewing on this 99-day challenge, right? So and you can crew anything. You could crew as an osteopath, but say you were crewing like as my mate, or like, you know, there's so much to do. You can be getting my dinners ready, driving the bus. What would be your ultimate crew team? So you were like, I'm crew leader. You can bring a couple along, dead or alive.
Can I have the entire cast of Salt Lake City Housewives? Particular Heather Gay, Mary Cosby, and Angie. I want like the main Salt Lake City Housewives.
That's fair. That's really good, because my one was just Alison Hammond last time. Not just Alison Hammond. How dare I say just? I just mean one person. But you've got a whole crew of them coming.
But we have to fly them from Salt Lake City, Utah.
100%. And like, and do you think they'd be good at like, obviously like?
No. You're joking. They're just there for the crack.
I need to add someone in for this month's one of who I'd like to join my support crew, and I haven't thought about it, and I'm really annoyed.
Maybe it's one for next time.
Yeah, but no, I need to bring someone along.
Okay.
Like, who would I bring along? Who am I absolutely loving at the moment? I mean,
would it be some like Alan Carr from the Traitors or something?
Babes, that was so weird. If you could read my brain now, I was like, what have I really liked at the moment? The Traitors. And then I was like, oh my God, Alan Carr. So
see it going.
This month I'm going to bring along Alan Carr in the support crew. He, I could imagine, will be really good at driving along and like shouting things out the window with a megaphone at me. So like, that would be his problem.
Well, shout out to Alan, maybe he's watching.
Alan, if you're watching, I've got, you know, the full schedule. You just let me know. I've got a spreadsheet. You put your name on which week you'd like to join me on. Just let me know, babes. But Tim, thanks so much.
I had a really good time. I was a bit nervous, but it was really nice.
He was nervous, and I was like, babes, you're amazing and you're so clever.
No, it was really
You're one of my
fun.
cleverest friends and one of my funniest friends. I've told you this
Honestly,
before.
Medicine and everything, it's just a big memory test. I'm not that clever.
Yeah, no, he is. He is really good at what he does, but also as well, really caring and knowledgeable in that sense, because that's one of the things I love is when I come to see you, you get into the person, like who they are. Like, I'm a fucking nutter. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm like, yeah, Tim, I ran a marathon last week. I'm going to run another one today. Instead of him going, don't do that, and being negative to
like,
me,
how can I help?
He gets into my body and goes, how can I help Esmee as Esmee? And I love that about you. So you're amazing like that. And also today was all professional and talking about your job and stuff, so you had to be professional, but Tim's in my top 5 funny friends, so so yeah, I love you loads. Guys, like, subscribe, share, and we'll see you next week.
Yay, that was so fun.